Joining me is Moien Odeh. He's a human rights and international law attorney. Moien, thanks very much for your time. Now, it's possibly more obvious why Ukraine has been a source for human trafficking during this particular crisis, but it has been not just a source, but a transit and destination country for human trafficking since the early 90s. Why so?
Unfortunately, after the collapse of the USSR, the Soviet Union, the location of Ukraine between Russia and Western Europe made it like kind of a station for such crimes that were much more easier. Beside the very bad economy for Ukraine, for Russia, to be like kind of hub for prostitution and for crimes like this. Unfortunately, this is continuing to happen now after the war, the Russian war, the Russian invasion against Ukraine. What happened now that the Ukrainian authorities need to deal again with two crises within a crisis. The Ukrainian now, besides dealing with the Russian attacks, they need to deal with such a very bad situation, which is criminals and gangs trying to take advantage of this and trying to to kidnap and to convince more girls and ladies to work with them. Unfortunately, forcibly, which is a very bad and very unfortunate scenario.
And it often varies depending on which country they're trafficked to, from what I understand. How are Ukrainian refugees affected differently depending on which country they land in? What's the difference between arriving in Hungary versus Moldova, for example?
For sure, first of all, I think the first issue will be if these forced immigrants knowing somebody there or doesn't know anyone, because this will affect them. If the country is a rich country, they can give them shelters, they can give them some money, some issues to deal with, while other countries are a little bit less fortunate and doesn't have the same opportunities. So this will lead them to there. I think, but at the same time, will be for sure the power of the police, the power of the authorities there, how much they can deal with this. It will take also a point there, but unfortunately, it will depends mainly on them. These gangs are taking advantage of these women, trying to understand which are the weaker ones, which are the ones that they don't have anybody to take care of, and they will take advantage of them.
There is a strong focus on women being the victims when it comes to trafficking. But from what I understand, research shows since 2015, around 50% of victims from Ukraine have been men and young boys. How do anti-trafficking policies leave men out?
I think historically the policies were drawn around that women are the only victims, which is, as you said, statistics prove that this is not true. Unfortunately, most of the policies dealt with women as the only victims and left the others outside of it, and many gangs took advantage of this. They understood that it might be easier even to attack some men and some boys, because first of all, the policies are not really dealing with them. The authorities does not really take care of them as much as they will do with women. So they decided to start attacking them. Hopefully now, after all of these statistics happening now, and we are getting them, so we can. The policymakers can understand that men and women could be exposed equally to this kind of crime, and they can start drawing new policies to help also men, not only women, against such a crimes.
So what policies are you talking about here? What more needs to be done to support human trafficking victims, particularly during war and displacement?
I think the first thing will be giving them help, giving them shelter, giving them money, giving them a place to go with, giving them knowledge, because many of them are coming very naively, believing that those strangers offering them help are really want to help them. Especially they are coming from a war zone, they are very desperate, they need any kind of help. So all of this, I think, as I said, economically, socially, and even politically, to push them to understand that not everybody who really want to help you, it will help you. They need to get a shelter, they need to get a place to stay in, they need to get some money, they need to get a contact with someone from the authorities to understand their rights, where they need to go. So it's different steps here, but I think the main issue is to let them understand that they might be victims, they should be very aware to this, and they should get a shelter to stay in. This is the first step one. They need a shelter.
Really appreciate your time, Moien. Moien Odeh for us
Thank
there.
you, sir.